Matt Reeves' The Batman is seen as one of the greatest comic book films of all time these days. A lot of people absolutely love it, me being one of these people. But is the Batman franchise in trouble due to, well, DC Studios, James Gunn, and just how long it's taking to get a sequel out? So let's talk about that. Is the Batman franchise in trouble? This is something that's been brought up pretty much everywhere ever since James Gunn and Peter Safran took over DC Studios. And with constant delays on the Batman Part 2, and by the sounds of it, the Batman Part 3 possibly not shooting back to back, and maybe coming in the early part of 2030 at the earliest, but some are saying could be as far as 2032 or 33 due to the fact that there's a bunch of other projects that DC Studios is putting out and they plan 3 a year. I get why people think that DC Studios is not looking at Batman as sort of a cash cow and the Batman could be in trouble. Now, I'm going to have to play a little devil's advocate in this video because it gets a little complex. Because I've seen people say, there's no way they canceled the Batman. It's $1 billion film. Not quite. 800 million, but I get what you're saying. They're close enough. There's no way to cancel it. The Penguin won awards. Okay, that doesn't matter. That literally doesn't matter. They cancel shows that win awards all the time, and films that win awards don't get sequels. But here's why people come at it this way. Because they were willing to cancel the entire DCEU and not move with another Aquaman film. But the first one made over $1 billion. And the fears of Joker, right? Joker 1, over $1 billion. 2, quite possibly the biggest bomb in the history of comic book films. When you look at the profit margins and the budget and marketing and how little it made in return. Like, it's an issue, right? So I get why people are saying that could happen to the Batman. But here's where I got to interject with the, well, let's back up a second. So first and foremost, James Gunn already has a target on him for hatred from every single DCEU fan. And the Batman fans already hate him. And Marvel fans, some hardcore ones, feel betrayed. He's got an uphill battle, right? And the optics on him canceling the Batman to make way for Brave and the Bold, which is supposed to be bright and friendly and more comic book. It's going to have the Bat family and it's going to be cartoonish and all this stuff. Do you realize how bad that looks? Especially because people have taken to Robert Pattinson's Batman, and make no mistake about it, it's the only Batman where he's actually a detective that does smart things, you know? And he actually, like, I don't know, feels real. And I get some people don't like that, and I have my problems and issues with a realistic Batman, but they did good. In my opinion, they did great with this one. It's why I love the film so much. Why it's in my top comic book films of all time. But when I really look at this, and you look at it from a distance, the optics on it are just bad. It's a bad idea to cancel it. It would be a terrible idea to set up the story with the Batman Part 1 and Penguin and just pull the rug out from underneath them. The more likely chance, in my opinion, would be that they announce that the Batman Part 2 will end the saga and that it was always meant to be a duology. And that Matt Reeves has other ideas and he's going to work with DC Studios. They're going to find another passion project and he's going to executive produce Brave and the Bold or something, you know, to ease it on fans. That I could see as more of a likely scenario than this. And the reason I say that is because do you guys remember how Matt Reeves was working on a TV series set in the Batman universe based on Arkham Asylum? And then it was announced that that series was in development for DC Studios in the Brave and the Bold universe, in the DCU. And we were like, wait, hold up. And James Gunn and Safran were like, oh yeah, we're great. He pitched us and we didn't think it could fit in the Batman, but man, it fits in Brave and the Bold. And that project, while canceled wasn't necessarily canceled. It was put on the back burner like Nova, and they're going to try to see how they can fit it in. And it's interesting that Clayface is going to be a film set in Gotham and bouncing around some of these same slums and darker areas of Gotham that we want to see explored, right? And they're already saying Arkham Asylum might appear in it. So think about that. You can't just take Matt Reeves away because people would be pissed. I would be pissed. And also, you kind of ruined the story, you know? But on the off chance that there is something that happens with this, like I said, I think they pivot the message. Or they say it's a duology. Or if they're really going to end it, and this is how you do it. Matt Reeves has been saying this is a trilogy. He envisioned this as a trilogy. You got to do the ultimate move. Batman Brave and the Bold is probably coming within 3 to 4 years. So what do? So the Batman Part 2 is coming out in October of 27. You shoot Part 2 and Part 3 back to back and stagger the release by a year. October 27, here's Batman Part 2. October 28, here's Part 3, the end of the saga. And that's in 28. By 29, 2030, Brave and the Bold. That's how you do it. So I don't think that they're in trouble. I don't think they're going to cancel the series. I don't think anything like that's going to happen. But I do think that they're going to assess the situation and realize we can't drag this out for another 6 years between sequels. We can maybe fit in another season of Penguin or another series between the 2 seasons or between the 2 films and call it a day. And that way, we'll get a couple more awards like we did for Penguin. We'll wrap it all up, and we move on. And I think that's the ultimate end for this. I don't think there's any cancellation. It's the dumbest move you could do. Nobody would be that stupid, especially James Gunn, where there's a target on him that's like, the moment he takes a wrong step or says something, everybody capitalizes on it. Imagine telling that to the higher-ups at studio as well. Hey guys, you know that thing that sold a ton of merch? That series that also won all of the awards? That sequel we've spent millions, dozens of millions working on? Yeah, we're going to cancel that and produce one that's a lot brighter and more like Batman and Robin. Comic accurate. Good luck. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will, and if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.